All right, boys, it's time to talk about the Pistons and give them their flowers. They are one game above 500, 41 games into the season. They just lost to the Pacers, I know, but I mean, a year ago I did a video titled The Biggest Mess in the NBA about them, so it's time to say some nice things. Like going from a 14-win team to 21-win team halfway through, like it's really crazy. I mean, we all know the gist of going from Monty to JB and giving this team a whole new defensive identity, recognizing that Jaden Ivey's actually good. Unfortunately, Ivey is hurt right now, and there doesn't seem to be a lot of certainty on when he'll be back. And then, of course, more talent and shooting around Cade with Hardaway, Beasley. Tobias is cool. He's a bit up and down game to game, but overall it's been cool. Fontecchio is good stuff. But, of course, you got to start with Cade, and I would like to go right to the recent win they had versus the Knicks, where in the fourth quarter, I think it just showed just how good and methodical Cade is. I mean, I understand his efficiency is still not perfect, but everybody knows Cade's really good, right? We all saw this, just the stuff around him wasn't good. So against the Knicks in the fourth quarter, Cade just countered every defensive coverage the Knicks threw at him, where if it's Cat dropping back on a screen, then it's Cade hitting him with a pull-up three. If Cat is higher up on a screen, then he's hitting him with a crossover, getting by him, and then finishing inside and benefiting off of actual spacing on this team, right? You then had two different plays where he takes OG or McHale in a one-on-one, one in the half court, one in transition, taking those guys off the dribble, finishing with something, and then putting Jalen Brunson in screen actions repeatedly by having Tim Hardaway Jr. screen for him, and the Knicks didn't want to give up the switch, and so then they're doubling Cade, and then it's just swing, back-to-back wide-open Malik Beasley threes to put away the game. The Detroit Pistons, in the middle of January, are like attacking mismatches with their best player and then getting good three-pointers off of it. So that's cool. As far as Cade, it just feels like he's making every pass right now. He's got the overhead passes when teams are bringing two to the ball on him. He's got lobs. He's got entry passes to like Isaiah Stewart or Duren if they've got room for something. You got skips as well. Now, the turnovers can still get up there. I mean, in the last 5 games, he's had a 7-turnover game, an 8-turnover game. I'm not going to act like Cade is perfect right now, but more spacing, more talent, good stuff. If we can talk defense, where they are a middle-of-the-pack defensive team now, they look way better than last year. So I was looking at their last one against the Raptors, where in the second half of that game, the Pistons had a 102 defensive rating. The Raptors scored 5 points in the last 5 minutes, I believe. They did miss some free throws, to be fair, but I thought they also had a couple of plays that just showcased how their defense this season has a pulse compared to last year, where it was 2 different plays, one where Duren was very high up on a quickly screen with Pirtle, and another one where Malik Beasley and Duren doubled Scotty Barnes in the post. And both plays actually resulted in passes to Grady Dick, one where Tobias ran him off the line, and then the help defense inside finished the rest of the play, or Tobias actually got a block. And the other one, they just had a good closeout on him. Again, just more of a pulse compared to last year. And, throughout the game, I mean, Isaiah Stewart, when he was in there, did a good job of sometimes dropping back on, like, Scotty Barnes or quickly screens, and other times, like, just pressuring the hell out of Pirtle at the three-point line to where they couldn't just comfortably get off, like, little handoff actions and stuff. The other thing, too, is this team just has so much spirit. I mean, you can see it in their recent win against the Blazers, where they were down 7 with like 8 minutes left in the fourth quarter. And then they just upped the intensity. I mean, you see Marcus Sasser picking up Simons really early on possessions. You see Fontecchio and Stewart being glued to either Denny or Klingon. You've got a play where 4 guys are in the paint ready for Ayton to catch the ball in a roll. Every single time they could push it in transition, they did. I mean, they had like 8 offensive rebounds. The dagger of the game was a Duren putback after Cade missed a layup. And then you just have little plays of, Hardaway making a pull-up too, Tobias converting something in the dunker spot. And this was my thing when they signed Tobias in the offseason, where, yes, they overpaid for Tobias. They gave him 2 years, 50-something million. They just desperately needed NBA talent, man. By the way, as far as the idea that Hardaway shoots it every single time he gets the ball, he's averaging 30 touches a game and 9 shots a game, so do with that whatever you will. And I mean, they've had wins versus good teams. I mentioned a Knicks win. They've had 2 different Knicks wins this season. They've beaten the Lakers. They've beaten the Wolves recently. They got a little lucky with Cat not playing in one of those Knicks games, but whatever. Anyway, Asar as well as Ivey have not come up much in this video, so let's talk about them. We all know the defender and athlete Asar is. My recent favorite play from him was when he helped off a Randall like decently hard, and Gobert thought that he could just make a routine pass to Randall. Nope, and he gets a transition dunk. They have a much better defense when Asar's on the court. When Asar and Isaiah Stewart are on the court together, their defensive rating is 96, which is just insanity. It's even better with him and Ron Holland together. It's only like 60-something minutes, and the offense is not good in those minutes, but it's at least fun to read. As far as the offense, I think you are seeing the flashes of it between transition, the occasional time when he can get downhill to go like Miles Turner on a screen action, or Draymond on a catch and drive. Or I guess my question, I mean, obviously it's the 3-ball, but then also, like, how much ball handling responsibility do they want to give Asar this early? I mean, we're 19 games into his second season. Of course, he missed a good amount of time. And of course, how much can he handle? I mean, Asar is such a crazy athlete that he's always going to find a way to contribute, but there's more to it than that, as we know. As far as Ivey, We know he improved his three ball this year and he got out of the Monty Williams doghouse. I don't know, I just think he looked pretty good in the games before he went down. Like in the Suns game, he had a lot of nice passes or threes off the dribble. In the Laker game, he had some good, like, simple screen actions, but they also gave him some cool sets to catch the ball in the move to score in the paint, where he still had to finish around AD or dribble around AD or whatever. As far as the ongoing Jalen Duren defense stuff, I mean, my vibe with that continues to be the same thing, which is it just feels like he's better at playing higher up on screens than dropping back and being a typical rim protector. And again, the defensive culture of this team is completely different from last year. The entire culture, everything is different from last year with JB. So good stuff. And they got a very good chance of making the play-in. I mean, they got a 3-game lead on the Bulls, who are number 10. The Sixers are 5 games behind him, and Embiid's going to be reevaluated in a week, so we have no idea what's going to go on with Philly day to day. Yeah, good stuff, man.